Welcome to the tutorial for animal ears. These are all the supplies you will need. Pause for the list. Now let's get into this. You want to start out by sketching. Figure out if you want your ears back or up. Today I'm going to make deer ears. So I started out by looking at pictures of deer, and then I made some sketches. The tough part about designing an ear shape is that you have to do some sketches and then imagine what it looks like unfolded. Paper miniatures help a lot. Just keep futzing with it until you're happy with the shape. When you're ready, cut some flanges and then eyeball it onto a larger piece of cardboard. Cut out your new ear and then crumple it up. You want to bend back and forth the flanges and crumple the cardboard to help give the ear some three-dimensionality. Fold it, check out your handiwork, and that's your ear. Unfold that ear and flip it over to use as a pattern for the other ear. Put one staple in there just so you can kind of see the shape and you're ready. This can be done with any animal, for example a possum. Make a mock-up, turn it into cardboard, and make some possum ears. They're very cute. The rabbit ears that I had originally, I used a cross bracing, but for these deer ears I'm just going to use one strip across. Start by making your headband, measure it to your head, and then make your cross brace. You want that little flange to be longer so it can fold around the headband for added stability. That's approximately what yours should look like. Then you want to position your ears how you like them, futz with them, figure out exactly where you want them to go, and then use those flanges you cut earlier to staple them onto your headband. And you just finished the most difficult part of the project. Now gets to the fun part. Get some paper tape and use that to cover up all those staples, because otherwise they will stab you. It also helps smooth over the cardboard a bit so that you can start paper macheing. Also take the time now, if you're going to add some balled up paper for some more dimensionality. To the glue. So this is a cornstarch based paper mache glue. Put some cornstarch in a bowl and mix it with cold water. And you let that sit for a half an hour. Once that half an hour is done, it'll have thickened up a lot, and you're going to splash a little bit of it into a pan, mix it with water, and then cook it, and keep stirring, and it magically will end up like this. If you go online, you can find a proper recipe instead of this. But now you're ready to start paper macheing. I like to put the goop onto a piece of paper, crumple it, and then rip off the strips that I need. And that lets me kind of make custom pattern pieces to whatever area I'm paper macheing. And you will be doing a lot of this. I learned how to do this from my friend Delia, at Delia of the Greenwood on Instagram, and she learned from Paper Hand Puppets, which are an amazing puppetry troupe, and you should definitely go check them out. While I was paper macheing, an actual deer and her baby came up. They scared the bejesus out of me. With a big blow of her nose, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. After a while, you'll finish the first layer of paper mache. That needs to dry, then you can start on the second layer. For the second layer, I used comics because they're very thin and allowed me to rip incredibly narrow strips to really get around all the corners and curves of the ears. Once that's dry, you're ready to paint. You'll start out with a base coat of some kind. Painting this on the backs of the ears and on the headband just ensures that there's no chance paper is going to show through and helps give it a nice even color. Once the outside and the band is painted, you're going to mix up a gradient. Go back to your reference photos and look at the deer's ears. You're going to break down the colors of those ears into blocks. You'll do a big block of color on one ear and then go over and do a similar-ish shape on the other ear. Working back and forth like this helps you ensure that your ears are somewhat matching. The next step is called flecking, which is a technique that uses very small brush strokes. I tend to use a big, kind of bad brush that has a lot of spacing out, and you work from the lightest color to the darkest color. And then you'll accent with a little bit of white here and there. This layering creates the illusion of depth and of fur. A little dry brushing on the back of the ear creates a similar illusion. Now the painting is done, and you're ready to let it dry and then decorate. Because you have to figure out some way to cover up that band in the middle. On my rabbit ears, I stapled in place fabric to cover it, but for these ones, I'll just be wearing a scarf. Fold it in half and place the front of the scarf around the front of your head, cross the tails in the back, and then loop those tails up over your ears and back to the back where you'll tie a big knot. Futz with it until the scarf covers up all the cardboard bracing. And those are your deer ears, or possum ears, or rabbit ears, or whatever kind of ears you want to make.